Well, joining us now for our panel, an all-star panel, CNN chief national correspondent and the host of Inside Politics. He is John King, chief political analyst Gloria Borger, senior political analyst David Gergen, senior political reporter Nia Malika Henderson. To my left, CNN political commentators Kayleigh McEnany, Mary Catherine Ham, Bakari Sellers, and Peter Barnard. So, John, there are a lot of supers these days. We're on Super Tuesday, too. Should we expect to get further clarity in both races tonight?
I think we will get definition in both races tonight that is very important heading into next week, which could be a decisive week in both races. Not mathematically, but in terms of the arc of the races. Tonight, Ted Cruz delivered a couple of body blows to Donald Trump on Super Saturday. The challenge for Donald Trump is every front runner takes a few hits. Can he get back in the ring tonight and prove, okay, he landed a few punches, but I'm going to win this round. If he wins again in Mississippi, that's, even though Ted Cruz says he's back in the race and Ted Cruz has closed the delegate gap, Ted Cruz was supposed to win across the South. If Donald Trump takes Mississippi away, it kind of goes to the underpinning of the Cruz campaign, Tea Party, evangelical voters in the South. Then you get into Michigan, which Donald Trump wants to send a message, not only to Republicans, but to Democrats. He wants to win Michigan and say, I'm winning in the South, I'm winning in the Northeast, I'm winning everywhere, and I'm winning in places that the Democrats think are theirs in November. Watch the margins in Michigan, very important in Michigan, but if Trump can get wins tonight in the two big contests, he's back on his feet. Maybe he's a little wobbly, but he's still the champ, and he's still in the race. On the Democratic side, if Sanders, we don't expect him to win in Mississippi. If he can't win in the Midwest, if he can't sell his economic message in the industrial Midwest, he becomes a message candidate, not a mathematical challenger for the nomination.
Gloria, I have to ask you, John mentioned some of the polls, Trump losing ground to Cruz, Rubio, and Kasich. I almost hesitate to ask the question, could this be a troublesome night for Donald Trump, considering his past exceeding of expectations? But are there warning signs in there?
I think right now what we see is a fight within the Republican Party, and the establishment is trying to blunt Trump's momentum, even if it means backing Ted Cruz, who no one has ever considered a part of the establishment before. So the challenge here is to just blunt it. And, that would mean Ted Cruz, for example, winning in a state like Mississippi. That would mean John Kasich winning in Michigan, which the polls don't seem to indicate that he will. It seems to me that it's a difficult task. But Trump, as John was saying, wants to lay mantle to the fact that he can win in every part of the country. And the thing he's got going for him in Michigan, quite honestly, is that it's an open primary. And he does much better when you can have those crossover voters, when independents can vote, when conservative Democrats can cross over and vote in the state of Michigan. Reagan Democrats in Macomb County, you'll remember that. There are conservative Democrats. So Trump is going to want to say, I can do it everywhere. You can't deny me this nomination.
David, Gloria mentions what the Republican establishment wants, as if it matters. But you do have Mitt Romney doing robocalls now for both Rubio and Kasich. An effective tactic, and is Mitt Romney the effective voice for those calls, for that kind of message?
I think he delivered a very effective message last week, but he was not an effective messenger. What I do think we're seeing, Jim, is that the assaults on Trump from the, quote, so-called establishment, and by the way, from the media, he's gone through he's gone from a lot of wow kind of coverage to, whoa, let's hold on here. There are a lot of faults in this guy, and I think that is having an effect upon his national standing. It's remarkable to me, this new Washington Post, ABC poll finds that over half of Republicans and independents who lean Republican now think Donald Trump is dishonest. We always had that distrust issue surrounding Hillary, and this is going to be the Republicans' great strength against Hillary. You get somebody on the Republican side who's just seen as dishonest, that's troubling for him.
All right, some of that mud starting to stick. Nia Malika, enormous stakes. You can't overstate the stakes for Marco Rubio tonight. He's won just one state so far. He's banking on Florida, of course, next week. Let's have a quick listen to what he had to say today.
Florida was always going to be important. Always is. I mean, in 2008, John McCain basically wrapped up the nomination in Florida. In 2012, Mitt Romney basically wrapped up the nomination in Florida. I think that'll in many ways have the same impact in 2016.
So do or die today for Rubio and for Kasich, really?
Yeah, very generous of himself to compare himself there to Mitt Romney and John McCain, who had many more wins going in to Florida and did, after those wins, were able to show some momentum. I think it is indicative of the lowered expectations around Marco Rubio at this point, that he is betting it all on Florida. He basically has a Giuliani strategy in his own home state that he should automatically be able to win. You hear stories now that he doesn't have much of a ground game in Florida. Again, this is his own state. And this just, I think it's a continuation of a narrative that really started at the beginning of this race, which was that which state could he win? Right. It wasn't clear that he had much of a ground game in any early states, and I think it's now catching up with him. And the idea that he might come in fourth in Michigan, fourth in Mississippi, this is not good. If you're the candidate who's saying, I'm the most electable and I'm the one who can bring the party together, I think he could be in for a really bad night. And this idea that, if he wins Florida, does that mean he's going to win North Carolina and Illinois and all of these other states? It's hard to argue why he would, given his poor showing across the board in all of these other states.
All right, well, we got a big panel here. We're just beginning. Everybody stay with us. We're going to give you a chance to pipe in. Next on a special Super Tuesday 2 edition of The Lead, Donald Trump has taken to swearing in his supporters, but their raised right hands are drawing comparisons to, yes, the Nazi salute. Now Trump is fighting back. Plus, Clinton slamming Sanders over the auto bailout. Will it work in Michigan? And voters can cross party lines in Michigan. Are Democrats crossing over just to beat Trump?